Hey, what's up guys? Today, I'll show you a horror film, The Pyramid. Spoiler ahead, watch out and take care. The movie begins in Cairo, Egypt, in the year 2013, when archaeologists discover a pyramid buried under the desert. The archaeologists are Doctor and his daughter, Nora. They are doing research about the pyramid with the help of NASA's technology. One of their team is Nora's engineer boyfriend named Zahir, who is permitted to use the expensive NASA rover to examine the pyramid. Meanwhile, in the city, there are thousands of protesters around the street, which causes a chaotic situation. Amidst the chaos, a documentary crew consisting of a journalist and a cameraman arrives in Egypt to document the pyramid exploration mission. There, they see the workers are busy digging the ground to uncover the buried pyramid. The journalist reports that the pyramid is unusual as it has only 3 sides, unlike the typical pyramid, which has 4 sides. Nora reveals that NASA's satellite allows them to scan the pyramid. This gives them information about the location of the pyramid's entrance. The following day, a worker rushes to report to Doctor that they have finally broken through the pyramid's entrance. The archaeologists, together with the documentary crew, come to the pyramid. After the worker removes the stone sealing the entrance, toxic gas from the fungi is released. The worker gets infected, making him sick. The toxins from the pyramid make Nora believe that the pyramid is older than they expected. Right then, they receive a call from the government, ordering them to stop the pyramid operation. The government says that they need to evacuate from Egypt tomorrow because of a possible civil war. Doctor and his daughter are disappointed since they are excited to discover what's inside the pyramid. So Nora suggests they can secretly send the NASA rover inside the pyramid to observe and take pictures inside. Zahir then controls the NASA rover to go inside as they observe from outside. At the entrance, there's an ancient sign indicating the phrase God Slaughter and a symbol of Osiris, the god of the afterlife. As the rover drives deeper into the pyramid hallway, a creature suddenly attacks it, which seems to destroy it. As a result, the researcher team loses track of the rover. Zahir does not want to leave the rover inside, since he will receive punishment from NASA for losing it. So Doctor suggests the two of them enter the pyramid to search for it. But the curious Nora also wants to see its interior. At the same time, the journalist is decisive in covering them and forces the hesitant cameraman to join the researchers inside. The soldier assigned to escort their departure prohibits them first, but eventually allows them to enter after Zahir's plea. Before entering the pyramid, they attach a wire to Doctor's body to make sure that they would keep track of the way back outside. They then continue to walk along its narrow hallways. As they go deeper, Zahir finds the rover's camera unattached to the rover. The cameraman comforts him, saying they could still find the other parts. Nora finds a hole in the ceiling, which leads to the pyramid apex. She insists on going up. As she finds a relic in the apex, she convinces the rest of the group to climb up. There, they find ancient weapons which are actually used in a battle. Suddenly, they notice the wire from Doctor's body is cut off. He then suggests that they can go back to reattach another wire. But when they climb down the apex, they find themselves confused about where they come from. They see 4 totally identical tunnels, so they cannot figure out which tunnel will lead back to the exit. Nora points to a single tunnel, and they follow it. They keep walking until they arrive in a dead-end chamber. There, Zahir finds the other parts of the rover totally destroyed. They walk into the chamber, and after a few moments, the ground starts to shake. It suddenly cracks, and it will collapse if they all keep moving. So Doctor suggests that they walk out one after the other. The cameraman goes first, and the ground keeps breaking as he keeps walking. He panics, and the chamber floor collapses. They fall down to another part of the pyramid. As they find it harder to breathe inside, they remove their protective masks. A boulder suddenly falls from above and hits Zahir's legs, injuring him. The group tries to remove the boulder to free Zahir, but it's too heavy. The group comforts Zahir and lets him drink water. The journalist finds a shaft leading upward, so she suggests climbing it, hoping to find a way out. She climbs it and encounters a jackal-like creature. It attacks her, making her fall back to the group. She now has scratches on her face. Doctor then suggests that they should stay there and wait for the soldier to find them. But the others are worried for Zahir since he needs immediate medical help. This forces Doctor to allow the group to break the gate on the other side. It opens up and reveals a narrow hole, which leads to the other side of the pyramid. They finally breathe fresh air. Nora promises Zahir that they will find the exit and get help for him. The group continues walking on the other side, leaving Zahir alone in the chamber. After a while, they hear a voice shouting, and they believe it must be coming from the soldier. They shout loudly, hoping the soldier can hear them. Suddenly, they hear Zahir desperately shouting for help. Nora and Doctor rush back to the chamber to check on Zahir, while the journalist and the cameraman continue moving forward to find the soldier. Nora and Doctor arrive back at the chamber. They find Zahir is gone from the boulder, and only his blood trail is left, indicating that he's dragged away by something. Nora is completely devastated. Doctor comforts her and convinces her that they should keep going. They continue walking and get reunited with the journalist and the cameraman. Doctor says that Zahir is dead, and the two panic upon hearing this. The journalist gets agitated and attempts to attack Doctor. They eventually calm down and continue wandering around to find a way out. After a few moments, they find an extremely narrow tunnel. Without a choice, they all crawl into the tunnel to reach the other side. Suddenly, the jackal-like creatures begin chasing them in the tunnel, forcing them to crawl faster. Fortunately, the soldier is on the other side, trying to find them. The soldier helps them crawl out one after the other and shoots the creatures with his gun. After that, the soldier checks inside, and a monstrous creature instantly drags his muscles. Since the tunnel is too narrow, the soldier's body folds into half as the monstrous creature drags him inside. The group panics, but Doctor tells them to keep silent and turns off their lights to hide themselves from the monstrous creature. After a while, the situation settles down, signaling the group to continue their quest to find the way out. Doctor examines the symbols on the wall and figures out that it portrays the afterlife. It says that after a person's death, the person's heart is placed by the demon Anubis on a scale to weigh it. This is a way to judge if the heart of that person is pure. If it's pure, the person is allowed by the gods to enter the afterlife to dwell among the stars, meaning that someone with a greasy and heavy heart can't be allowed to live in heaven. After some time talking, the group continues to enter another hallway. This time, they find animal head statues along the hallway. Doctor touches a block in the wall, and it suddenly drops. A boulder drops, blocking their way back, and sand pours out of the animal head statues. They then realize that the sand will bury them alive in the hallways. This signals them to rush forward to get out of the hallway. The journalist is ahead of them running, and she finds a chamber full of sharp metals at the end of the hallways. The cameraman, who is running at high speed, bumps her, and she accidentally drops into the chamber. The sharp metals then pierce her body, and she gets trapped in them. She's still alive and keeps screaming out of pain. After a few moments, the jackal-like creatures trace her hormone smell rather than her screams and feed on her smelly body. Meanwhile, Nora is left behind in the hallways. She's about to get buried alive, so she shouts for help. Doctor rushes back to help her. Fortunately, he manages to hold her hand and drags her out of the hallway. They arrive at the end of the hallway, only to see the journalist being eaten by the creatures. Doctor then throws a flare at the chamber to lure the creatures away. The three climb down the chamber, and they attempt to remove the journalist from the sharp metal. But as they slowly remove her, she screams out of the excruciating pain. They realize that her body cannot take it, so they stop removing her. After a while, she dies from the injury. The rest of them decide to keep going, but they notice the changes in their body. Apparently, the toxins in the pyramid are taking effect on their body. They find another tunnel, and they enter it, leading them to the other part of the pyramid. Nora says that the jackal-like creatures must be Sphinx cats. She says that they are placed there to guard whoever is buried in the pyramid. The Sphinx cats manage to survive because the older generations are eaten by the new ones. As they reach the end of the hallway, they find themselves back at the same chamber with the afterlife symbols. Doctor suggests that they might be in a labyrinth. He figures out that there must be a way out there since the soldier managed to arrive there earlier. The cameraman finds the rover's antenna, and he suggests that they can use it to send footage to the outside. He then takes footage of Doctor asking for help. After that, Doctor and Nora notice that air is being pulled out of the wall with statues. They think that there must be something behind it. Doctor touches the statue, and the wall rotates, allowing them to enter the other part of the pyramid. They walk through another hallway, with bones and shits in it. Eventually, they find themselves at the burial chamber. Doctor says that they need to find the right escape shaft. There they find the body of a Freemason grave robber who failed to get out of the pyramid. The grave robber's heart appears to be forcibly taken out. Nora reads the grave robber's journal, and its last entry indicates that he found the way out in the burial chamber. They then figure out that they are near to finding the escape shaft. Suddenly, the monstrous creature appears behind Doctor and snatches his heart away. Seeing that, the cameraman and Nora run their smelly asses back to where they came from to hide away from the monstrous creature. But the wall is already closed, preventing them from escaping the burial chamber. Realizing that they are trapped, the cameraman decides to go back to the burial chamber to find the escape shaft. He says that even if he dies, someone will find his camera, which contains the footage of their situation in the pyramid. but Nora is reluctant to go back because of fear. The cameraman goes back to the burial chamber and covers the events taking place. There, the monstrous creature, which appears to be Anubis, places Doctor's heavy heart on the weighing scale, while Doctor is on the side. Strangely enough, he's still alive and keeps screaming for help. The weighing scale goes down, indicating that his heart is not pure, possibly contaminated by his bad hormones. So the monstrous creature eats his heart, and as a result, he appears to rot and die. After that, the monstrous creature leaves the burial chamber, leaving the two unnoticed. The cameraman and Nora reunite, so she is able to watch the footage of the monstrous creature weighing her father's heart. Nora says that the monstrous creature is Anubis, who ate her father's heart because his heart is impure. The two proceed to wander around the burial chamber, and they find the soldier's body. The cameraman takes the soldier's gun for protection, while Nora grabs the flare from Doctor's body. Nora then examines the symbols in the burial chamber. She says that Anubis cannot enter the afterlife because he is impure. This explains why Anubis is looking for a pure heart, and in that way, he can finally enter heaven. She then figures out that the ancient Egyptians buried the pyramid to get rid of Anubis. The symbols also indicate that they can find the exit shaft on a star map. Nora takes a look at the star map in the ceiling, and she finds the brightest star leading them to the exit shaft. They then find a rope ladder in the shaft, indicating that the soldier entered through it earlier, possibly in fear of the unknown danger. The cameraman lets Nora climb first, and lets her hold the camera to make sure that the footage inside the pyramid will be saved. The cameraman follows her up the ladder. Suddenly, Anubis arrives and chases both of them. The cameraman shoots at Anubis, but he misses. The creature manages to drag him back. Nora continues climbing up, and Anubis tries to drag her back. She takes out the flare and puts it to Anubis, making him fall from the shaft. She soon manages to climb to the top of the shaft. Unfortunately, Anubis traces her smell and drags her back to the burial chamber. Anubis ties her to a statue to weigh her heart on the weighing scale. She wakes up, only to find the unconscious cameraman on the ground. Anubis arrives and crushes his head into mashed potato. She then uses a metal blade to cut the ties. As Anubis is about to take her heart away, she manages to escape and attacks him back with the metal blade. She runs her heavy heart away, and the Sphinx cats arrive to feed on the wounds of Anubis. She climbs up to the shaft and eventually finds the pyramid exit. Finally, she escapes the pyramid and manages to save the camera with her. As she arrives at the pyramid exit, she falls to the ground due to her exhaustion. In the end, a child walks toward her, but Anubis instantly drags the much more smelly child away. This is Daniel CC Movie Channel. Stay safe and enjoy your day.